Give me your tea. Your baby fingers.
I have sensitive fingers.
Is that what you want to call them?
Yes.
Okay.
Nope, still too hot. I love you.
Anyways, I love you too.
Oh, this week's been a lot.
This week, it's only Wednesday.
I know. Well, it started the weekend.
I guess if we're going from last Wednesday. I
Yeah.
guess it's been a week.
So, for those that don't know, this last weekend, we had an injury in the family. Everyone's fine. But you scared a few people with your Be Real.
I wanted to see how many people were actually paying attention. Because no one ever leaves like an emoji or whatever they're called. The real emoji things. Or comments on my Be Reals. So I was like, well, see if people are paying attention.
Yeah. So she went ahead and...
So there were only 2 people that were paying
That's true.
attention.
But she went ahead and posted a picture on Be Real of her in the hospital with Toby.
We were sitting in the waiting room of the ER. So, I mean, I guess we could have been anywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, he's fine. He was jumping
On the couch. And fell off the couch.
and hit his head on the table,
Yes.
split it open.
Yep. But there was surprisingly
There's no
very
blood.
little blood.
I saw no blood initially. Because it happened and I could tell he was hurt.
Yeah.
So I went and I checked motor skills first, right? Like, can you lift your arms? And he went through all the motor skills.
Mm-hmm. It was
His hands, and then when he started moving his neck, he said his head hurt. I was like, okay, you just hit your head, so yeah, your head hurts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, let me see the back of your head. And he pointed exactly. He's like, ow, it hurts. So then I started looking, and then I got scared. Because I was the first one to see, like, the gap
Yeah.
open. And I was like, I can see past the skin. And then this one doesn't believe me. You came over and you're like, let me see.
Okay. You wanted to go to the ER when you cut Iris's fingernail too low.
She was bleeding.
Oh, yes. But she was fine. So your criteria
For the ER.
for the ER isn't always accurate.
If I see blood, ER.
That's why felt like I needed to look at it. We needed a second
Yes.
opinion. That is all. But you were correct.
You didn't trust me.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't. I thought you were overreacting. Because I saw it from behind. I saw him hit his head. And in that moment, I thought, uh-oh.
That's gonna
like,
leave a bruise.
This is going to be bad. No, I
Oh.
thought he had split his head open. Because I saw him hit it.
You did think that.
But then when he got up and there was nothing, I was like, oh, I guess not.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I kind of didn't say anything because I didn't want to freak Toby out. Because because typically when you cut your head, like,
a lot of
heads
blood.
bleed.
Yeah, a lot.
So when I saw 0 blood on anything, I was like, oh, I guess we got really lucky. Like, and he hit it, like flat as opposed to the corner or whatever.
Yeah. As I was going through his motor skills, that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, he's okay. It was like, maybe we should keep an eye on him. Like, I've had concussion before.
Right. Yeah.
So, like, okay, let's go through this.
Concussion protocol.
Yeah. But, kid's a trooper.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's see. By the time we called my mom to come over and I carried him outside, it had been what? I don't know, 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
And then he was like, Mom, why am I not wearing any shoes?
Oh, yeah.
And he was like laughing about it.
Yeah.
So we went back in and put his shoes on. And then we got in the car and we told Grammy the story about his shoes. And he was giggling. Like, legitimately giggling.
Yeah, I know. I was still...
I know you were freaking out.
I was emotional. First I was like, call your mom so we can go and I'll go with Toby. And then I switched. I was like, you know what? No, maybe you should go. Because I was like not prepared to go through that with him.
Yeah.
Like even seeing him like get staples in his head, I feel like
I couldn't really see. I was holding him.
Okay. But regardless, when when you guys left, I broke down.
Like had a meltdown.
Yeah, I was crying. Luckily, I was with the girls, and the girls were like very sweet and kind, and were giving me hugs and kisses. They've been giving a lot of hugs and kisses lately.
Yes, they have.
So
Has Iris done where she wants to kiss you and then teases you and laughs,
yeah, she like
turns
throws her head
away,
back.
and
Yeah,
like pulls away like this and just starts laughing hysterically?
yeah,
She
that's
does
funny.
that to me constantly.
Uh, but yeah, so I was okay with them. I even posted a video of them like playing with me
Oh
because
yeah,
they could
the
see,
sunglasses.
yeah, because they could see that I was sad and worried, and they could feel it, right?
Mhm.
So they were very calm. They sat down with me, and I put on my Formula One show just to distract me a little
Yeah.
bit, and they sat down and watched it with
I
me.
know.
So
I know you
yeah.
were freaking out. That's why I was trying to
yeah,
like text you
Yeah.
and keep you updated. Like I promise you, he's fine.
yeah,
Like he was laughing. He was talking to the nurses, showing off his muscles,
there's just like
and he was the most pleasant Toby I have experienced in a very long time. Even my mom thought the same thing. Like, who is this
this new
this
child.
new child that we have? He was great. He was so good.
I think he could also understand that it was like, okay, this is an actual serious moment. Let's get out. Because when I said we were going to go to a doctor, he started crying, but it's
Yeah.
because he doesn't want to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's also like, I know you've told me it's not my fault, but there's still like a guilt there, right? Because we're in the room with
Because
him.
you were the one technically playing with him.
Yeah,
And I was with the
it's
girls.
like I should have been watching him and everything, but stuff happens with kids, especially as
Yes.
crazy as him.
And I tell you that all the time. And when stuff happens when I'm watching them, you get all mad at me.
I don't want to see them hurt.
But
That's
it's
what
not
it
my
is.
fault. And I like the second that happened, my immediate thought is Toby okay?
Yeah.
Not Eric, why did you let that happen?
Yeah, I know.
But that's what you say to me. That's
Yeah.
always the first thing out of your mouth
Yeah.
when something happens to one of our children.
Mhm.
And that shouldn't be the first
I
thing
know.
you think.
I know.
And it then just makes me pissed.
But I think that of myself too, though. Like in this situation when
Yeah.
it happened, like I just kept thinking I shouldn't have let that happen.
Just get that out of your head. Stuff happens with kids.
I know. They're still young. I still need to get used to it.
So dramatic.
I'm overprotective. Like my mom's the same way.
Yeah, I know. That's why we're not telling them ever. They will never watch
Yeah,
this.
they don't know yet what happened. They'll find out eventually. Toby's just gonna tell them one day. I split open my head.
Years from now, as long as it's years from now.
I know they're in Mexico right now. Don't want to ruin their fun.
Right? We'll come home immediately.
Yeah,
Toby!
but he's great. Played soccer today
It's fine.
with staples in his head.
Yep. I know. He's fine. He freaks out a little when we wash his hair, but that's to be expected.
That's fair.
Yeah. And we put his shirt on extra careful so that it doesn't like push too hard on the back of his head. Got a system down now.
I just make him put on his shirt himself.
Oh. I hope. Especially because some of his clothes, like
It's
some of
tight
his
around his
PJs
head.
are like really tight around the neck.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the shirt.
Yeah.
But he says it doesn't really hurt anymore. It's just now I think he's just aware when something touches it because of the staples.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably a little tender, but he doesn't complain about that. That kid has a high pain tolerance though.
Yeah.
He's just dramatic.
I've heard of a lot of like head injuries with kids though, like, and they're usually fine.
Yeah.
At least all the ones I've heard so far.
Well, kids have extra like padding, I think,
In their head.
like extra fluid or something. 'Cause
I'm still-
their brains are still developing and growing and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I'm just still amazed how there wasn't blood.
I know, even the
Because
doctor.
it was like I saw it. It was
Yeah.
open. And I
No,
was
I
like,
know.
yeah, the doctor.
There was blood. but it was not bleeding. If that makes any sense. Because there was like blood
I'm
on
not a
his
doctor.
hair and
Yeah.
stuff like that, but it wasn't like bleeding out of the wound. But there was blood because it was open.
Mm-hmm.
But even the doctor, when we were getting the staples, said something like, "Oh, and I'm sure there was blood everywhere." And I was like, surprisingly, there was like no blood at all. And she didn't seem
Yeah.
concerned by it.
Imagine my reaction if there was blood everywhere.
I'm really glad there wasn't, because Toby would have freaked out.
I would have called 911 immediately. I probably would have.
We do not need that bill.
No. I would have called an Uber. No. That's why we called your mom.
I mean, we would have called her anyway, but
Yeah.
poor Grammy
That
who
was
just
crazy.
sat down for a glass of wine and
Yeah.
was interrupted.
Yeah. And it was crazy because that was a roller coaster of a day. Because I had just gotten back from doing the
True.
confirmation retreat for the kids at church.
Mm-hmm.
And that in itself is an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then we had lunch with the group, and it was awesome. And we're just here playing with the kids, and then that happens.
I feel like that's usually how it happens. But
I know, right? What was it? That quote from Denzel, what he said to Will Smith? It was like, the enemy will attack when you're at your highest.
yep.
I was like, and that immediately, like, I came home, like, feeling really good. And I was like I'm going to be a better husband, a better
FDSU
father.
won.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
5
we were
seconds after
excited.
you walked in the door.
We were excited about the game. Like, we're in such a good mood. And then that happens, and it just kind of, like, tries your relationship with your kids, with
Mm-hmm.
between us two. Like, it's just so immediate.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's why. So we work on that. So we try to be strong.
Mm-hmm. We also just handle stress very differently.
Yeah.
Like trauma stress. Like, you go all emotional.
Yeah.
I just look to humor
Yeah.
and try to make light
Yeah.
of the situation, which was probably a good thing that I went
Yeah.
with Toby. My mom's the same way.
I mean, I was of the right mind to understand that too and be like, it's better if Lily goes.
Yeah.
She'd be able to handle this better than me right now.
Yeah. Yeah, we were fine.
Yeah, but sometimes you don't handle stress that well. It was like when
I don't always communicate well
yeah. That's it.
in those situations. Like, I'm processing it in my head and just assuming
Yeah.
I'm saying things out loud, but nothing's coming out
Yeah.
of my mouth.
And I make the decisions like this, that.
Yeah.
And then if I make the wrong decisions, then you speak up.
Then I say, no, wait. I've been processing this whole time and that is wrong.
Because that's what happened with Iris
Mm-hmm.
when I was cutting her nails and we cut her finger. You okay?
No.
That's definitely what happened.
Hold
What happened? No, say it.
on. It went down the wrong way.
Oh. Do you need more tea?
I have more tea.
But yeah, that's what happened with Iris. I remember being cut. I'm like, okay, like, wash it off. I was like, trying to get the super glue, and you're just like deer in the headlights.
You weren't trying to get super glue. You were just like, let's go to the ER.
I said that
Her
first.
finger's coming off.
Yeah,
I've cut her finger off.
I did. I cut her finger off.
I was just kind of processing, like, we don't need to go to the ER.
Yeah,
What do we need to do here? And I
Yeah.
was like processing it in my brain.
but I made the
But you were
decision
out
to.
here just like spitballing.
I guess that's how I think.
Yeah,
I think out loud.
I don't. In those situations, I don't.
Yeah.
I think in my head.
Yeah, but when you're thinking in your head, you just have this look. You're just like nothing's happening.
So much is happening. That's why my face looks like that, because every ounce of energy is in my brain.
What was kind of changing the subject a little. What was your immediate reaction when you saw poop on the wall? On what was that, Monday?
Oh.
I just hear you yell, Eric, I need you.
I said
Like,
I need help.
or
Yeah.
I need help because I
So
was over
I
here.
was cooking dinner. You were in the playroom with Toby.
Yeah.
And the girls were like around, like they normally do. They came into the kitchen. They walked back. I could see them playing on the stairs, which they do all the time, playing with the fan and the gate and stuff. And they walked in, and I was like, "Oh, somebody's pooped." I could smell it, but I was like in the middle of something, so I didn't do anything about it. But I like was like, "Okay, as soon as I'm done, I need to figure it out." And so I kept cooking. They came back, and I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I can really smell it." And I finished what I was doing, so I went to check Ivy because she hadn't pooped yet that day. So I just assumed, I'm gonna assume it's Ivy because Iris has already pooped today, right? And I look at Ivy, and the entire back of her shirt is like kind of lifted up in the back, and it's just all brown. And I'm like, oh god, it was Ivy. So I just scoop her up from the front under her arms, right, and start carrying her from the kitchen to the bathroom. If anyone is familiar with our home, you walk through the dining room, past the stairs to the bathroom. So as I'm walking past the stairs, I just see a glob of poop on the wall. And I knew she had been playing over there and like leaning. I saw her like rubbing against the wall, but they do that all the time.
Yeah.
And so I immediately just opened the door to the playroom and said, Eric, I need help. Because I was like, what am I going to, I don't want Iris to touch it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where else it is.
Yeah. The
And
dog was trying to lick
oh,
it.
God, gross. And I just ended up taking Ivy upstairs and just showering her off in the tub. So I didn't want to use 10,000 wipes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. I knew I was gonna change diapers when we got into this. I didn't realize how many poop interactions there were going to be.
That was the worst one we've had.
The one with the dress the other day, last week.
Yeah, but it wasn't on it was just on her.
Yeah.
That was the first time we've had. Oh no, it was on the rug the other day.
Yeah.
Because they were wearing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about with the dresses?
No, it was another day. No, but the one on the rug, you were like.
Because they were wearing dresses.
Yeah, you were playing in there with them, and then you're like, "Oh, I was gonna go upstairs with Toby." You went upstairs with Toby.
Yeah.
And you told me to go in with the girls. I was like, okay, I go in with the girls.
Because they were just sitting so nicely.
Yeah, they were.
Playing with the magnet things by themselves.
And then same thing. I could smell the poop. I go, and I lift their dress, and the poop is gone out of their diaper,
right.
And it's all over the rug. And same thing. Start immediately yelling at our dog to leave.
And those dogs are gross.
She just wants to sniff it, but I still don't want her near it.
Yeah.
And then clean off the girls, and then just scrub the rug.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a washable rug, though.
I know. But the day over there, where Ivy was sitting on me and I could smell it, and I was like, oh, okay, I need to change you. And then when I go and move her, I lift her dress to like check her diaper, and it was just all up her back, inside the dress.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like...
That had to have happened in the car.
And I think I yelled at you at that point, too. I was like, I need your help. Yeah. Like, go immediately into the sink and start cleaning her off. It's always Ivy.
No, in the room with the rug, it was both of them.
It was both of them.
Well, and then Iris did it at school the other day.
Oh, that's true.
And then she came home in a ridiculous outfit, which is partially my fault, but, you know. I mean, you send them clothes, and then they don't use them, and they'll come home in, like, a shirt or a pair of pants every so often, and you have to send something back. But it's been so long, you don't remember what the other half is, and they change sizes. So Iris looked ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's fine. She was clothed.
She was. That's a lot, though.
Yeah. There's been a lot of poop this week.
Yeah. Well, there was something going around, too, right?
I don't know.
Like a stomach virus.
Always something going around.
What was it like once a month?
Mm-hmm.
Your kids are supposed to get sick? Or that's the average?
Oh, at least. I feel like it's more than that. I feel like it's like 3 weeks of being sick, 1 week of not being sick, but it's like a revolving door.
It's
So you
cycling.
get like 3 days where they're all healthy, and then the domino effect begins.
Yeah.
And you just hope you don't fall with them.
I've gone a really long time without getting sick right now.
Shouldn't have said that out loud. Should
Knock
not
on
have
wood.
said that out loud.
I've just been lucky. Because usually I'm like the first one that's sick.
True.
The kids are sick, I'm sick the next day.
Yeah, I got one cold.
Mm.
That's about it. I usually get like one cold a year. That's pretty average for me.
Mm.
So that was my one. That was my one cold for the year.
But I think I'm good. But we'll see. Just the emotional damage the last few days.
The trauma. Have you recovered?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm
Because that
good.
was like 3 days ago now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I see the staples on his head, and I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, oh yeah. That sucks.
And I'm not looking forward to him getting them pulled out.
I don't even know how they do that. I feel like I need to look it up because he's going to ask me 1,000 questions about it, and I don't want to say I don't know.
They're just gonna yank them out.
I
I'm
mean,
sure
they
they.
gave like crazy pliers to probably like cut. I don't know.
I'm sure they like put something on it to like numb the area. Kind
I
of
feel
how
like
when
they'd-
they put them in.
Yeah, they'd have to. I mean, because I think they have to pull them out
Yeah.
because they're metal staples. You can't just like cut them and leave bits of metal in his head.
No. That doesn't sound right.
And they're like wood staples,
Wood?
like staples you use for like construction.
Oh,
They're not like a stapler.
I know, but I'm sure they're like medical staples.
Oh, obviously, but
They're
that's what they
different.
look like on the outside. Like they're thick
Yeah, yeah. You can see the like little shiny through his head. It's like he's a
Mhm.
robot or something.
through his hair. Yeah,
Through his head. Yes.
it's pretty crazy.
But yeah, I think
I've never even had stitches.
everyone goes through that at some point. You never had stitches?
No, I've never had stitches. I've never broken a bone. Well, maybe a finger or two playing basketball, but I've never had like a cast or worst I've done is like sprain an ankle and sprain things. Really?
I sprain my ankles all the time.
Well, yeah,
Not
I
bad
did that a
ankles.
bunch of times.
I dislocated my shoulder. That's not fun.
Ugh.
I think that's the one I worry most with kids, just because of how much they fall.
But their bodies are so limber.
I know. I see them fall sometimes, and it's just like
Like it
they
looks
fall.
painful.
Yeah, they fall. And the other day, Ivy was like running, and she fell hard, and everyone just kind of stopped and looked. And my mom was about to get up because she was here. I was like, no, don't get up, don't react.
Yeah.
And then Ivy just gets up, shakes it off, and keeps running. I was like,
Well,
all
now
right.
she started saying, okay, okay.
Like, I'm okay.
Like, I'm okay. Because I'll ask her, Ivy, are you okay? I think because I would ask her that when she would fall. So now she just says it when she falls. She's like telling herself, it's okay. I'm okay.
I'm okay. Let's keep going.
But in a like crackly, trying not to cry voice,
Yes.
which makes it funnier.
Yeah.
Did I tell you Iris crossed her arms the other day?
What?
I didn't tell you. So, I don't know where Toby was. Must have been in the playroom
Mm.
or something. But my mom was here and we were sitting with the girls on the couch. And Ivy tells us that she's hungry. So I said, okay, we can get you a snack. She was sitting on my lap, so I had to get her off the couch. Iris was already kind of over in this area doing something. And so I went over to ask, to say, I like turned and was like, Iris, are you hungry? Do you want a snack? And she was like kind of at her high chair pushing it. So my mom and I were like, oh, I guess she wants a snack. And Iris in her deadpan expression, like total neutral, just no expression whatsoever, just like pushes her high chair like this looks over at us, and just crosses her arms like this. I could not get my phone out fast enough. She only did it for like maybe 2 seconds. So I don't know if she even knew what she was doing. But my mom and I just died instantaneously of laughter. I think it was Monday. It was great. It was the best thing I've ever seen.
So much attitude in that one. But
her face never changed.
What was her reaction to you laughing?
She just uncrossed her arms. I don't know. Maybe because we laughed, she realized it wasn't.
It didn't do anything.
Effective. I don't know.
She got the opposite reaction.
Mm-hmm. I was like crying. It was so funny.
Oh man. Or she could have got that on video.
My phone was so quick, but she didn't do it for very long.
How was I was gone for the weekend on retreat, and you were saying that you took them to mass. You took them to the St. Michael's by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, my mom was there.
Was that the first time you taken all three of them by yourself though?
My mom was there. Yeah. I wasn't by myself.
That's true. Would you try to take them, 3 kids, by yourself?
Yeah, I think I could do it. Because Toby is typically better behaved when it's just me.
I'm the problem.
Well, it's just when there's a second adult. Because he realizes that he can get attention.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's another adult to care for the girls if needed.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when it's just me, I think he tries a little harder and is a little more cooperative. A little. But
I don't know. The one time I took him to mass by myself, it didn't go that well.
Yeah, but it was just you and him.
Yeah, so I think I'm the problem. For those that haven't heard the story, we went...
You know exactly what story this is.
Yes, I went to mass. I took Toby with me. And he was perfect the entire service. He was great up until right after communion.
Well, to preface this, if you don't know Toby, when he was younger, he was a runner.
Yes, he would run away.
He would run away at any opportunity possible.
So, communion starts, and the pew that we're in, I'm at the end, he's to my left, and at the other end is a family. So, I was like, he's trapped, he can't go anywhere, and we're good. We go through communion, we come back and sit down, and that family left right after communion. This is why you don't leave after communion.
People need you.
People need you. And so Toby literally like looks back at me. He's like looking at me and smiling. I was like, Toby, just come back here. And he just slowly walking away. And as soon as I inch towards him, just takes off running.
He was probably, how old was he?
The girls were already born.
They were?
Yeah.
I guess why else would you be there with him by himself? Yeah. So, almost 3 maybe?
Almost 3, probably. Might have been 3.
Yeah.
But he takes off running. And the way this church is set up, the altar is in the middle of the church. And, of course, he runs towards the altar. And he's just running in a circle around the altar. And I'm over here trying to chase him. And then the 2 altar boys jump out and try to help me chase him down. And eventually we catch him. And he comes to me and he's laughing hysterically. The whole church is laughing.
Well, yeah, what else are you going to do?
And luckily the pastor of the church was also laughing, so it was fine. He made some like funny joke. He was like, and then that was our liturgical dance. It was very lighthearted and it was fine. But after, this is the part that gets you. After all these families came up to me and were like, "Oh, you're doing such a good job," or they would make remarks like, "I'm glad you caught him," or things like that. But everyone was like super nice.
Because you're a dad.
Because I'm a dad. I'm a good dad.
If that had been me by myself with him, I don't know if I would have necessarily gotten negative comments. Because we are at a church, I would like to think people wouldn't be mean.
Yeah.
But I don't think I would have had that many people come up and be like, "It's okay. You're doing great.
Yeah. You're trying.
You're trying." No. Absolutely not.
You're doing great. You're trying.
I didn't let our son run around the altar, so.
No. I wonder what would happen. If that happened at St. Michael's. Just Toby running around. Enough more people know it's there.
Well, you can't run in circles around that altar very easily because of the steps.
That's true.
So he would have just like run by it, I guess.
Yeah. Do you remember the story our friend Tim would say? Tim, you remember Tim from college?
Yeah. He had a lot of stories.
I know. He told me this story, and it was one of the stories that the priest said at his funeral. So rest in peace, Tim. But I love this story. Is that when he was an altar boy, he was like a young altar boy, really little. They had to keep reminding him to not sit in the priest's chair whenever the priest would stand up, because he would just go over and sit. And then one time during the homily, the priest noticed as he's giving the preaching, and he just looks over, and Tim's just sitting in the chair, swinging his legs. And I always imagine that, like, that's so funny to think about. But also, like, having that type of, like, innocence in the church is really cool. Right? Like,
that joy.
Yeah.
To just run around.
Yeah. Like, Vivi, our youth minister, reminded me of that quote. It says, "The day you stop hearing babies crying in a church is the day the church is dying."
Yep. Or they're on the cry room, but...
Or they're in the cry room.
I hate the cry room.
No.
I think cry rooms are really great. Like, maybe I'd go to the cry room if I had all three and I felt like there was going to be a problem. So the kid would be a little bit more contained in there, but... For, like, nursing moms, I think the crying room is great because you have a little more privacy. But I think the cry room just gives the kids an opportunity to act up. Because they're like, well, that kid's running around. And it's just, like, such a different environment. Yeah. You're so separated.
It's hard to learn how you're supposed to act at church.
Yeah. When you're just surrounded by all these kids running amok in the cry room.
But I understand why there's cry rooms.
Yeah,
especially if they're like really little, like newborns.
Yeah, like for nursing moms and like stuff like that. I think it's great.
They should have an age restriction. Like once your kid's 2 years old, you can't use the cry room anymore. No. Why not?
I mean, it's all personal preference, and my personal preference is I'm not a big fan. But maybe if I had all three by myself and I felt like one or two of them was going to act up or something, maybe I would go in the cry room. Because you're in like a contained room, and if one happened to run away and I was stuck,
that's true.
You know,
that's true. It was like that time we went to they were doing like adoration and I went into the room with the kids because they wanted to run around, they wanted to move around, and we just switched off.
Yeah,
being in the presence. But yeah, it's always interesting taking the kids to church. It's hard to concentrate on with my ADHD. It's hard enough to concentrate, and now I have these kids who start playing with me, and I immediately go like, "Oh, I'll play with you," and I can't concentrate again.
My issue isn't.
I end up reading the readings before or after mass to make sure I get them.
Yeah, my issue isn't, oh, you're playing with me, I'm gonna play with you. My issue is just I'm in a constant like state of stress. Like, what are you doing? What are you touching? Why are you on the floor? Like, I'm just constantly looking at every single one of them to see what they're doing. So I'm not focusing on the mass.
Yeah,
because my attention is always split.
I'm not stressed, but I'm entertaining them. That's why.
I'm just trying to keep them entertaining themselves, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if I'm playing with one, I'm not paying attention to what the other two are doing. Do you know how many toys I've saved? at San Rafael because of their slanted floors. If you drop anything, it's gone forever.
It just ends up at the altar like an offering.
Or under some random person's foot.
Yeah.
But I've caught water bottles. I've caught I don't know how many toys. So I did feel a little less stressed at St. Michael's because the floor is flat.
Yeah.
I didn't
That's
feel that constant state of what's in your hand. Are you gonna drop it? Are you gonna drop it? Are you gonna drop that? Like that's how I feel at St. Rafael.
Yeah. But now we start going to St. Michael's again. You said you feel better going there because you see more kids.
Yeah, the floor is flat first of all, so eliminate that stress. And the pews are solid pews. There's no gap in the back of the pew.
Kids can't sneak out.
Well,
or
stuff
fall
can
out.
fall through, like the water bottles can fall through, or Ivy likes to sit all the way to the back, and I can just picture her like butt going through, and then she's just like, sticking out, head like totally flat.
Yep.
So that's nice. So they can just sit up in the pew, and we can put stuff there, and it's not gonna go away. They had kneelers that the kids thought were really entertaining.
As long as they're not dropping the kneelers.
I mean, we just had it down the whole time, pretty much. And then it's just a bigger congregation and a bigger church, so I felt like there were more kids. So we were by far not the loudest people. And if they did make a noise, I didn't feel as self-conscious because there were plenty of other families making noise.
Well, I guess we're going St. Michael's. I like having the flexibility of just as soon as we have the kids ready. All right, what mass are we going to? But they're at the age now where we can try and make a specific mass.
Yeah, or I mean, if we get there early, we get there early.
That's true.
We can always, especially at St. Michael's, there's so much room outside. Just get there, run around outside for a bit, and then go inside the church before mass is going to start.
That's true.
Because once they're ready, you leave. You do not wait, or you hold another hour.
Nope. The kids are ready to go.
They're ready. We're out of the house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That's all I had.
Yeah.
Eventful week. Halfway through the week.
It has been an eventful week.
I think we'll be good.
We had fun with Toby at soccer today.
Yeah. It was good seeing him start the sport.
He is so excited. Yeah. Even the other parent, did you hear what she said as we were leaving? She was like, I love his energy. Yep.
Very
all the time.
Enthusiastic. I like that he asks, I know it's because he wanted a snack too, but he asked to go see the big kids play.
Well, we did that the first day when he got his free snacks, which is what created this precedent.
Yeah. But he was asking questions about the game.
When he was eating his snack, we went and watched the big kids while he ate the chips.
Yeah. And today, he didn't have a snack, but he still wanted to watch. He was asking what they're doing, how the score works, and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe he'll learn something.
It's exciting. Maybe he'll learn. We'll see.
We shall see. Toby.